was coming out of a dark and really destitute place financially when I met a millionaire couple. And they gave me the book, The Science of Getting Rich, and told me everything that they had acquired was because of this book. And I didn't read it. I took it home. I waited until things got even worse financially. And then I was like, you know what? Let me read that book that I got. I opened the book. I practiced the principles of that book, and my life started changing. Like, I literally started witnessing financial miracles. Fast forward, I go to an event, and at this event, it's one of those business events where you actually have to sell something to make money. And at the time, I had a business called Mother and Daughter Trips. So no one at this event was going to be buying a trip for them and their daughter. And so I was not going to be successful. I needed to think of something really fast to sell. My best friend and I were at the event together, and we decided, you know what? We've been reading The Science of Getting Rich. It's been changing things for us financially. How about if we sell everybody here? They're all in business. Everybody wants to get rich, right? So why don't we just create a little banner? We had to wear billboards on our chest that says, want to be a millionaire? I'll show you the science of getting rich. And literally, it was a big joke. We sold a couple packages that weekend. We came home. We're like, well, what are we going to do now? We just sold this. We don't know what to do. And we decided we were going to show these people how to read the book and apply the principles the way we had been doing. And the rest is history. You know, here we are 10 years later. We've shown people how to use these principles. They've manifested well over $50 million. I now have clients from all over the world. Like, it is amazing how everything came together to lead to this business being formed. And so naturally, the only thing we could think of to name our business was The Science of Getting Rich Academy. Easy and relaxed. As I was on my own journey to figuring out success, the one thing that I knew was that I had built a business before. I had built a 7-figure business, and it was hard. It was hard work. I had to sacrifice my time, my energy. I didn't see my family, didn't see my husband, didn't have any time for myself. It was just hard in every way. And when it failed, I was like, wait a second, I've been sold a bag of goods because I thought you were supposed to work hard and it would guarantee success. But that formula didn't work for me. So I kind of made a deal with God and the universe. I said, I want to be successful. I still want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm going to need it to be easy. I'm going to need it to be fun. I'm going to need it to be something that I love to do. That's my deal. God, you figure out what that business needs to be. And so I'm on my journey of developing myself when I read this book, The Greatest Secret of All by Mark Allen. And in that book, he had an affirmation, and it included, I'm so happy and grateful that I have now manifested whatever it is that you want to manifest. And the magical words that came next changed my life in an easy and relaxed manner. No one had ever taught me that I could ask for success. I could ask to manifest success and financial success, particularly, in an easy and relaxed manner. And the rest is history. It is now a part of not only my vocabulary, but everyone in my family, in our community, all of my clients. We're all down for easy and relaxed. And it's amazing that just by reading that book and seeing those words, everything changed for me. And now I'm all about easy and relaxed. The 120-day money and profit mastery program that we created came up because what we did at first was we created a 30-day journey of showing people how to learn and apply the science of getting rich principles. We actually took them on a journey for 30 days to read the book, study the book, understand the powerful principles that were there, and begin to apply them in their life to create any result that they want. And what happened was, when they were done with the 30 days, they were manifesting so many things. We taught them how to set intentions in the area of finances, health, spirituality, and relationships. before they started the 30-day program. And so as we're going on the journey and they're manifesting like crazy, we get to the end of the 30 days and we realize they were asking for more and we didn't have it. So we were like, okay, scramble like a true visionary. What else can we do? And so we decided to go deeper into the principles and to take each principle, assign it a week or two, and show them, because most people know about the law of attraction. They know how the universe works and the principles work. But the problem is not a lot of people are being held accountable to implementing the law, right? Applying it in their real life to get the results. And so we took the next 90 days and said, actually, you don't need 30 days. You need an entire 120 days to first learn the principles or be reminded of the principles of the science of getting rich. And then we're going to add on an additional 90 days where we're going to show you, and this is how you apply it. And so each week we take a principle, like we actually do a whole week on thoughts. How do you think? Has anyone taught you how to think to create success, right? So we take an entire week and we're like, what do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? This is how you think about that thing to bring it into creation. We have another 2 weeks where we work on just money. What are some of the things that you believe about money? What are some rewiring that you have to do around money? What would your life be like if you were living on $100,000 a week? And we actually give you a plan to map out how you would spend it. It's incredible, but the transformation takes a full 120 days. And that's why we decided to commit to that length of time, because we're more than just reminding you of the perks of the law of attraction. We want you to get the benefit of it by living it. And it takes time to implement those powerful principles. Someone once asked me, how did you know that this thing that you were teaching was legit? Like it really had legs to stand on. You weren't just telling people, oh, come, let me teach you the science of getting rich and the law of attraction, and you're going to pie in the sky manifest money. Well, it happened when we were probably, I think, in our second group that we had ever done. Back at this point, we're meeting at someone's house once a week in the first 30 days of our program. And so it was our second week when one of the ladies that would meet us every week went missing. She didn't come the second week. She didn't come the third week. And on the fourth week, she shows up. And obviously, as the leader, I'm like, hey, what's happened? What's going on? She's like, oh my God, we have been swamped in our business because we manifested a $5 million a year contract, renewable every year for 20 years. And I was like, what? She's like, yes, when you taught me how to write intentions in the areas of finances, that was my intention for this 30 days, that we would win this contract that we had never been able to win. We'd never gotten it, never gotten a contract of this size. And after the first week, they won the contract. And that's when I was like, wait a second, we've got something here. The next group that we did, we actually did only men in the group, and we had men from all over the world. In this group was a man, same scenario. He comes in, he teach him how to write his intentions. He writes a massive, like, dream come true intention for him. And he won a $9 million commodities deal. It was absolutely mind-blowing for all of us, all the guys and me included. But this was, back-to-back groups. And I realized this science really is a science. And if you know the science and you know how to live a certain way, it creates results, massive results every single time. And so here I am 10 years later, running groups, showing them how to do this. And every time we manifest hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars in the group, because people are finally learning how to apply the science of getting rich principles. Why am I so passionate about the work that I do? I remember when I lived in fear financially. I literally took my kids to school every morning, came home, sat on the kitchen floor, and for the next 8 hours while they were at school, I cried. I had anxiety. I was in worry. I was just gripped literally like this by financial fear. And every afternoon I would pick those kids up. I would go to the mailbox, and every day there was evidence that I really was the financial failure I was believing myself to be. Every day I would open that mailbox and there would be overdraft notices, unpaid bills, threatening letters from creditors. It was a horrible time in my life. But one day I stopped at that mailbox, and as I went to open it, knowing what would be in there, I happened to glance over at the car and caught the eye of my son. And as soon as we made eye contact, I remember quickly looking away, and I had the wherewithal in the moment to go, why did you do that? What was that about? Why did you look away? And I was just honest with myself. I said, you are in such bad shape that I felt ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt like I was going to leave a legacy of financial failure for my kids. And in that moment, it was, that quote from Tin Cup. It's like, you're in a defining moment. Either you define it or it's going to define you. Well, in that moment, I said, heck no. There is no way that this is going to be my legacy for my kids. I have got to fix this. And you know what? That declaration, that commitment to changing my life created all of these ripple effects. I got all the resources that I need, the people I needed to meet, the opportunities, the book, the courses, the everything came to me, and I did it, and I changed my life. I am now living my financial dream. And to whom much is given, much is required. Naturally, one of the things that is a byproduct of that, like, you change your life and you start seeing all these other people that are struggling the way you were struggling, and in your heart they just don't know what to do. They just don't know what to do. If they knew what to do, everything would change. And I became committed. If you're interested in learning what I did to create my financial reality, I'm willing to teach it to you. It's that simple. I am willing to walk back over the bridge and to show you, meet you where you are and show you, here's what you do. Because so many people, that would make all the difference in the world. Just, can somebody tell me how to change this? I don't know what to do. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. Because the other thing that I realize is I grew up on hard work is the only way to succeed. The only way. Well, that's not true. All kinds of roads lead to Rome. Every road leads to Rome, right? And hard work is one of them. But there are actually universal principles that, when applied, like the principles in the science of getting rich, when applied, can lead to success too. And I want to show people how to do that, because it's actually way easier, far more relaxed, far more fun. And you actually step into your power versus working from your effort. And that's what I'm all about. The more people that are wealthy, the more people that are living financially free, the more people that realize they have the possibility to create massive wealth or multiple streams of income, or just have money come easier. The more people that are living from financial well-being, is the happier the world will be. And it simply is just a matter of learning how to do it. And I've figured it out for myself, and I am happy and grateful to teach it to anyone else that wants to know about it, so that no other mom, no other woman, no other person gets to stand in that guilt or that shame of saying, you know what, if I don't fix this, this is going to be the legacy that I leave the world with: financial failure. I am from the beautiful island of Jamaica. And while everybody wants to go to Jamaica for vacation, it's a totally different experience growing up there. It's a third world country. And what many people don't realize is, when you're an underdeveloped nation, the opportunities are really tiny. And so what happens as a kid is that you are cultured to think that there's this much opportunity and like this many people vying for it. So you got to work your behind off to become successful. You have to be willing to work more than the other 2.3 million people that are on the island. Can you outwork them all? And so I know there's a Living Color skit that says Jamaicans work 3 jobs, 27 hours a day. It's true. That's what we were raised to think. That's the only way that you can succeed. So as a kid, I remember growing up and my mom saying, if you don't pass these exams, I've got some land in the country, a machete, and you can go do your thing as a farmer. And I was like, no, I'm a little girl. I want to be successful. So I just did what they said, man. I worked harder than everybody else so I could achieve success academically. And you know what? Ultimately, it did pay off. In the end, I ended up getting a scholarship to come to the United States to finish my college here. And that was, I mean, the rest is history. Once I got off that plane, I remember thinking there's 2.3 million other people who would do anything for this opportunity. So, you know what? I'm going to do what I know how to do. I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, follow the American dream, get the life of success that I've seen on TV. Now that I'm here in the land of, golden paved streets and all that good stuff, that's what I'm about to do. And I did that. I took every opportunity that I got. I was super grateful. I got a job. I climbed the corporate ladder. And ultimately, I decided to go into business for myself. I realized that one of the things about being from an island actually is that we value freedom, we value fun, we like partying, we like going out. And I might not be a party girl, but I definitely love the idea of I have choice with my time. And I figured out that the only way I could really achieve that was through entrepreneurship. So I got busy. I bought a franchise business, grew that to 7 figures. It was an epic fail, but hey, it got me to where I am today. How I started. My journey began with my absolute epic failure. I had done everything right in business. I followed all the advice of well-meaning people. I bought a franchise business. I did exactly what they told me to do, grew the business to 7 figures and beyond. And literally overnight, I was filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, filing for divorce, not recognizing my kids, in and out of the hospital, like absolute life failure in all areas. And then I sat down, I took a look at my life. I was newly divorced. I had no income. I still had all my bills. I had these 2 kids relying on me. And I just said, I can't go on like this. Like, this cannot be the legacy that I leave for my kids. And I made an absolute commitment that every time I had a fearful thought about money, I was going to grab my journal and I was going to journal the opposite. And literally that's how I dealt with my doubts and fears. Was I treated them one by one, writing out their opposition. So if I was having a fear like, you're never going to succeed financially, you're never going to have a business that allows you to have financial independence, I would grab my journal and I would write out, I'm so happy and grateful. I now have a business that provides for me financially. All my bills are paid in full. I love my life. I love my business. I literally just took the fear and wrote the opposite. And here I am later. I've actually created everything that I wrote in that journal. The other part of my story is along the way, while I was in that super dark place where most heroes' journey begins, a friend of mine introduced me to some multimillionaires. And at the time, I didn't really want to meet them. I was like, I'm down and depressed and out of money. I don't want to meet rich, happy people. But something else wiser than me made me go to meet them. And when I walked in and saw their life, not only did they have money, they were happy, they were healthy, they were in love, they were free. It was my first time actually seeing for real wealth. And I decided that day, I want that. And the husband, I'll never forget, he walked over to me and he said, Tasha, everything that you see here is because of this book. And it was The Science of Getting Rich. I took that book home and I did not read it. I waited until life got even more challenging. Then I grabbed the book. It was 63 pages. I read it. It changed my life. I did exactly what it said to do. And I started living my financial dreams. Who would have known that I would then create my own study of the book? And that is the business that I now have. I've shown people using the principles in this book how to manifest well over $50 million. And that's crazy to me. But it started from dealing with my doubts and fears and just trusting the process, and everything that I needed, not only to change my life, came for me, but help me to show other people how to do the same things and them manifest the life of their dreams. And that for me is true wealth. After 10 years of showing people how to manifest more money with ease, the one thing that I think I've become a master at is being ahead of the curve in seeing the things that people aren't talking about when it comes to manifesting money. Like everyone knows, okay, if you want to manifest more money, it might be that you have some limited thinking around money. It might be you have some money blocks, you got some money issues, you've got scarcity thinking, you're in fear, all that stuff. We all know that. But for me, I want to dig deeper. And what I'm working on next is really bringing forth this conversation around deservingness. Because what I've found is most people think they've got jars full of deservingness. They actually really believe that they're walking around filled with deservingness when it comes to money. But in reality, their jar is empty. There's nothing in there. When they look at what their bank account shows, what their financial reality truly is, the way their businesses are growing financially, there's not a match. It's like they think they deserve financial abundance, but actually the results in their life say no. So I've written a book on deservingness, and I really want to show more people. It's called The Art of Getting More of What You Want. I really want people to understand at a deeper level how deservingness ties into what your life looks like financially. Because here's what I know to be true. We don't get what we wish for when it comes to money. We actually have what we think we deserve, what we believe we deserve. We actually have what we believe we deserve. So even though we're thinking we're filled with deservingness, the truth is we have. So if your jar is empty or full, financially is dependent on what you truly believe you deserve. So I'm pushing forth my deservingness movement. And another thing is I've really been teaching people about money trauma, because PTFD is real, post-traumatic financial disorder. A lot of people don't realize that they've had money trauma. And I've identified 13 different life experiences that are trauma related, that are trauma-based and related to money. And no one's talking about that. It's like, I'm doing all the right things to manifest money, but there's some trauma that I don't even know I have around money. I've identified 13 of them. And the next big thing I'm going to do is actually realize there's 3 more. So I'm getting ready to do that and write an entire book on healing money trauma. That's what I've got coming up next.